Hey everyone, welcome back, and Alex here again to do another skill review, and this time again for the Mesmer. One of the things I really like about the Mesmer is you can pull out some very interesting strategy and techniques that a lot of people are not expecting. And one of the skills that I really like to go over today is a domination skill called Blackout. Now, Blackout, it's a skill, it's not a spell, but it's a very, very interesting one. And it's one that when people look at it the first time, they're like, oh my God, why do I want to use this skill? This is a pretty hefty drawback to the skill for me. But let's take a look at it. So Blackout, for 10 energy and a 1 second cast time and a 12-second recharge time, is a skill. And for 6 seconds, all of your touched target foes skills are disabled. And all of your skills are disabled for 5 seconds. Oh boy. I think a lot of players, when they see their skill bar completely disabled and they can't do anything for 5 seconds, they're like, I don't know if I want to deal with this. But with the Mesmer has a toolbox full of skills and spells that they can use to work around this drawback and actually use it to their advantage. So the Blackout is very good in shutting down an enemy that you need to shut down. And that's just using the skill itself. So it's very good against healers or someone that you need just shut down so you can take out the rest of the team, or you need to take out that one particular foe. And this works out really well when you have, say, two healers working together, particularly in PvE, where they're just healing each other and it's hard to take them down. And there's even a few cases here, especially in Maguma Jungle, where there are 3 healers working together, and then it's very hard to overpower them because 2 are supporting against 1, and it's actually hard to spike. Blackout can knock out that second healer and really gives your team the opportunity of taking out that other healer as if they were just alone. However, that being said, the Mesmer can do more than just sit there while that Blackout 5-second period is waiting to come off. They have a lot of things that work around it, and the thing is that they are mainly, although not always, mainly a hex-based type of profession. When you have a hex-based build, Blackout can work really well because you don't need active timing of skills while that Blackout period is going on for the 5 seconds that you are suffering from, and your enemy is getting 6 seconds of Blackout. And the big one that works really well with Blackout is Wastrel's Demise and Wastrel's Worry. So these two skills are very interesting because they rely on your opponent not doing anything. Well, PvE, they're always doing something. They're always casting a skill or casting a spell, and you can't control that unless you use Blackout. And that is where we're going to really take this. So you can cast hexes on them, and then you can cast something like Wastrel's Demise or Wastrel's Worry on an opponent and make sure they triggers or they get the full effect. So in case of Wastrel's Worry, you have to make the opponent wait or not do anything for 3 seconds, and then they take a big spot of damage. In the case of Wastrel's Demise, they take 9 damage, but it's 9 accumulating damage. So it's the 9 damage the first second, 18 damage the second, 27 damage the third second, so on and so forth. And not only that, that damage is also to all adjacent foes to that target. So it's actually is also a good AoE effect, which is great. So let's take a look here and just see how this works in combat. Again, out here in Henjin and Ravi, I got my team, and we're all set. We're on hard mode, and let's just see how this works. Again, I got 2 green items here, but the first one's actually a 10% casting time and recharge, but it's for all skills, not just illusion skills. So that works with kind of a multi spell line here that comes from multiple attribute lines. Okay, so out here in Tangled Root. Now, one thing to always remember about Blackout is that it is a touch skill. So you have to really use this at point blank range, which means you want to cast Wastrel's Demise at point blank range as well before you trigger Blackout. And you also want to make sure your enemy is at least stationary or attacking or casting, so you're not chasing them, because you can cast Westral Demise and you can be running after them, but usually when the PvE, at least in the PvE case, but probably the PvP as well, when they get to whatever they're going to cast the skill immediately before you can cast Blackout, because your Blackout is just not fast enough, even with the high fast casting rank, to stop like an instantaneous attack spell from, or skill from an enemy. That's usually a melee enemy. So let's see. Let's go find some. Okay, so we got a Moss Scarab. Oh, we got 3 Moss Scarab. Oh, we got 2 life pods. Okay, so here we can shut them down. So I'm gonna apply Hex here, apply Hex here. Now I'm gonna come up to close point rank range, hit that, and then block them out. And now you can see them taking the full effect. There's nothing you can do. Okay, now the skills are back. And this time, yeah. Actually, I took out the Moss Scarab, but that's okay. And now we just got 1 life pod left. Down he goes. And no problem. So, that's a good demonstration of using Blackout when you have 2 healing enemies that are clustered together, because they can be annoying. They can be tricky to deal with, even in PvE. Okay, Moss Scarab, okay. Now I'm waiting for them to get where they want. There's that. And then, there we go. Yeah, you want to get your hexes off here when you can, because again, when you're blacked out, you're blacked out. And down they go. Particularly in hard mode, because the enemies in hard mode have I think a 25% increased movement speed. That becomes tricky when you're trying to use this Blackout Westral's or Westral's Demise combo. That's why it's actually pretty difficult to get it fired off correctly in hard mode PvE, because you can easily find yourself chasing them when you're trying to black them out. So let's see here. Come up here, and we got some jungle trolls. Alright, so I'm gonna go Phantasm him. Put down on him. Okay, so now I'm gonna come up here. Boom. And oh man, I'm still chasing them, but I think I still got them blacked out. Yeah. There we go. There we go. And last but not least, down he goes. Okay. So again, it's hard to do in PvE unless you got like a speed boost going on. Maybe that's what I need to do next time. But the hexes are still working even though I'm blacked out. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find another Moss Scarab group. I think there's one right around here. Yep, there they are. Okay, so there's one. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that 1 second cast time is usually not quick enough against some of these foes here, so. One. And shut him down. There we go. And the other thing about Blackout, it can function as an interrupt. So if you see your opponent using things like Troll Engine that you can interrupt, Blackout will interrupt it. So that's another nice thing. Okay, so here we go. Stop this Troll Engine. And there you go. Yep. And these guys, they move fast. Down he goes. Okay. Again, we're dealing with things like jungle trolls. You know, they're not healing or casting spells. And Blackout, does it work? Maybe not worth it against some of these guys. I just trying to show the combo here. And okay, here we go. So we have 3 jungle trolls there. 1. Okay, so here we go. 1 and Blackout. There, stop them and watch it go. It's 18, 27, 36, 45. There we go. Boom, down he goes. So that's how you make it work. Again, it's hard to chase some of these guys, and it takes some skill knowing when to use Blackout and when you're going to waste it and kind of just knock yourself out. So it does help at first to be a little cautious when you use it. If you find yourself like, you know, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work, don't do it and just keep casting your normal hexes. You'll still be far more effective while you're casting hexes than waiting for your 5 seconds to come off, even if you get Wastrel's Demise to trigger properly at that point. But again, it's good to shut down a single opponent like those 2 life pods early on. Now, there's one other thing you can do here. I'm going to go back to Henjin and Ravi. And we're going to make a small change here. Again, a lot of the thinking is what can you be doing while you're shut down for 5 seconds and the enemy is shut down for 6 seconds. And I'm going to use one more skill here. Again, this is not the only thing you can do here, but you can also use illusionary weaponry. And illusionary weaponry needs a video all by itself, and maybe 2, because there's a lot of things about this that you can use. But it's a lot of fun. What it does is it kind of turns you into a melee character, and you can use a sword, and you can get a constant damage from that sword. In this case, 34. And this is using illusion of 12. And you can still be doing damage with your sword while the enemy is shut down. And this also works with a improved attack speed. In this case, just so Reddit doesn't explode again, I'm going to use Flurry. Not Frenzy, I'm going to use Flurry. So you can use Flurry, you can use this, you can shut them down, and you can try and get this Wastrel Demise to trigger. And you know, I'm actually going to take Conjure Phantasm. I'm not taking Conjure Nightmare just because I don't want the extra 5-second pressure, because I'm already firing off some of these. Well, you know, why not? Because I'm actually not using these 2 here. Let's take Accumulated Plane out. And we'll use Conjure Nightmare. I was thinking of trying to, you know, be a lot more economic and use Conjure Phantasm, you know, because it's 10 versus 15, but let's just see how it works here. Okay, so same idea. We're going to use Conjure Nightmare, and then we're going to use Illusionary Weaponry, and we'll be all set. So, fire up Conjure Illusion. There, get my sword. Of course, I need my sword. And here we go. Oh, and there's those life pods again. So, okay. So, 1. Shut them down. There we go. Get my IS up. Boom. Boom. And boom. And down he went. Okay. Nope. And illusionary weapons down. And down he goes. Now I don't think I even fired off Conjure Nightmare, but you saw the same thing as I demonstrated before. Being able to shut down one of those life pods makes things a whole lot easier here. And I was able to use illusionary weaponry while I was doing it. So let's go down this way and we'll just see what we can do here with these jungle trolls. So, okay, so here they come. Boom. Fire this one up. And actually I'm going to use Chaos Storm. They're all bunched up. Now, use that. And now I'm going to use use illusion weapon while I'm knocked out. Okay. And pretty fast here. Take him out. Get up to point blank range, and I didn't have the energy to fire off Blackout. So again, you can run out of energy here because you're firing 15. Oh, and yep, Blackout was able to interrupt that troll engine. No, or maybe not. Maybe not. I thought it did, but maybe not. So remember, when you do this combo, Blackout and Watchless Demise, it's a 15 energy combo. It's not cheap. A lot of time, when you think that Blackout's ready to go, you could actually be down on energy, particularly if you got this illusionary weapon build. Again, I'm kind of using a sword. So. Okay, a little bit late on that. Chaos Storm there. There we go. That guy, okay. So now, Blackout. Yeah, I think he used the skill real quick before I got him. Nope. And we'll take him out here. Okay. So, let's see here. We'll do one more. Now the thing about using the sword here and the shield, and actually I could probably change this right now. I can drop the shield and bring in my offhand, wherever it is. Let's see. Where is it? Guacamole. There we go. There we go. And give myself some more PV, because that shield wasn't really doing a whole lot. Okay, so we'll do that. And this one up. And yeah, again, that 1 second to cast Blackout it's excruciating, especially when you're dealing with melee type of foes. We'll do one more here. We'll just see if we can get this combo to work one more time. Let's get my illusionary weapon up. Okay, and black him out. Down he goes. Okay. So that's Blackout, and how to use that with almost any other skill other than an interrupt in the Mesmer line. Again, you can use illusionary weaponry. You can use any kind of hexes. You can combine Watchless Demise with Blackout. You can use Watchless Worry if you want to use more of a spike while you're killing them. You know, things like that. There's a lot of combinations you can use with Blackout, but when to use Blackout takes a real skill. Now, against these melee foes here, it wasn't that big of an effect, other than trying to cancel out Troll Engine. But against caster foes, like those life pods, it worked really, really well, because you can shut down one of those life pods and then keep doing hexes as long as you cast them before Blackout, and you can use something like illusionary weaponry to keep doing damage to them, even though your skill bar is shut down. So anyways, there are a ton of combinations you can do that with Blackout, but again, it's mostly reliant on hexes and what you can do before that is still active while you're blacked out and while your opponent is blacked out. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. There's a lot of things you can play with this skill, and again, it's a very useful skill, especially against healer pairs in PvE, and especially in PvP as well. So this is a useful skill in both cases. So play around with it. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great week. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.